What is going on, everybody? My name's Brian and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at this Merlin dual head straight air chuck with the inline gauge. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I did a video a few months back where I did a tool haul from Harbor Freight where I picked up quite a few items. This is one of the items, and I'm finally getting around to doing all the reviews. But if you haven't seen that video, if I can remember, I'm going to put it up top right here. But I've had this for a few months now, as I said, and I've been using this. So we're going to talk about what I think about it. And I have actually been using this quite a bit. Now, obviously, I'm not using it every day in a professional shop, but I have used it quite a bit. And I have to say, it's actually pretty good. Now, I was considering getting the Matco Air Chuck with the dial gauge, similar to like this. Now, there are advantages to getting an air chuck with a gauge like this or a digital air gauge. If you're in a tire shop or if you're in the shop and you're having to inflate a lot of tires, you want to be able to look and go really easy. Now, one of the drawbacks to something like this is the gauge is really small, but if you're not doing it all day, every day, or if you don't mind just taking an extra second to look, or if your eyes ain't bad, then these are actually pretty nice. Now, the prices of the tool truck air inflators, they're pretty expensive. You're looking at $75, I believe, for the dial gauge air chuck. And then if you get into the digital air chucks, and you're looking at over $100. So they're pretty expensive. Now, I have been eyeballing this Merlin one, and this comes in at $36.99. So the price isn't that bad. And if I'm not mistaken, you are able to use the 20% off coupon on this, or if not, there may be coupons available for these. I can't remember exactly, but I do believe you can use some type of coupon for these. The item number on this, if you're interested, is 63570. And there is a database, a Harbor Freight coupon database, which you can plug that number in and see if there is any active coupons if you was interested in this. But we could talk about some of the features of this air chuck. As I mentioned, it does have an inline gauge, and this gauge is also a liquid fill gauge. Now, if you don't know about pressure gauges, I do have a pressure gauge right here. And you either have a liquid filled pressure gauge or it's just a dry air gauge. There are advantages to having a liquid filled pressure gauge. They're more typically used for if the measurement needs to be precise, or if there's jumping in your measurement, then it will keep the needle a lot smoother. They are typically a little bit more expensive. So I am happy to see that they did go with the liquid filled gauge, but I don't know if they necessarily needed to, but they did. So that does say a lot about they was wanting to make this air chuck to be as good as they possibly could have made it, so they didn't skimp in that area. This does have a 300 PSI 3/8 hose, and the hose is around a 17-inch hose, so there is plenty of room for you to be able to maneuver this, to be able to get it. As I mentioned, also, it is a dual head, so you can use it on this side or this side. But as we can see, this also has an alloy tip for the Schrader valve on the inside. So this is also another high quality tip. We could see a big difference if we look at any of the cheaper air chucks. The valves on the inside of those are very cheaply made. So that is, once again, one thing that they did do. They're going to make this as good as they possibly can. We can see that the chuck is actually made of brass. It also swivels on the top right here. And we can also see that the body is made of aluminum, so it's lightweight and it's going to be more durable. And they also have, if you notice, little screws on the top here and right here. So that's if you ever need to rebuild this, then you will be able to put the O-rings in and fix anything that may need to be fixed on this, because this does only come with the 90-day warranty that a lot of your Harbor Freight tools, besides our hand tools, they typically don't come with a lifetime warranty. Now, I don't know if the tool truck ones come with a lifetime warranty or not, but you may want to keep that in mind. And I don't know if you can purchase the 2-year extended warranty or whatever, and I don't know if you would want to, because $36.99, I don't feel like is that expensive for this. And I don't know if paying $20 over half the price for an extended warranty, that would put this up to $60. So you may not want to go that route. I know I didn't buy an extended warranty, and I can't remember if they even offered the extended warranty, but this doesn't come with your male-end air input, so you do have to buy that as well. And I bought the brass one. Now, the thing about brass is you typically, when it's new brass, you typically don't have to use any thread tape. It's a better sealing metal because it's softer. So they are more expensive than your other air fittings or bolts or anything for that matter. Your brass bolts are typically more expensive. So we can see that I can show you here how this works. You put it on your tire, and when you have it hooked up to your tire, you can see how much pressure is in your tire. Now, when you press the lever in, then you're delivering your air. Now, this is a no leak air chuck, so when you hook your air hose up to it, it doesn't leak. So it's just sitting there. Whenever you need it, you grab it, you can use it. Now, the handle on this, it does seem to be a little wobbly, and it may break over time. But I mean, if it did break, you can see it's just held in by a pin right here. If it did break, I mean, you could still use it just by pressing in right here. But you may want to be careful with that and not get it caught on anything, because it does seem to be a little flimsy. But overall, for $36.99, now I have used the more expensive air chucks, and this is in line with those air chucks. This is really nice. So if you was interested in this, now you really wouldn't need to purchase something like this to just put air in your wife's tires every now and then, unless you wanted to. If you want something nice, there's nothing wrong with it, but you probably don't need to go purchase it. But for that price, I feel like that this is accessible to almost anybody, and it definitely is something nice that you could throw in your garage. Now, one thing I didn't mention as well, these also will screw on to any valves that you need to screw on to when you're hooking this up. Now, this is a maximum 160 PSI air chuck, which I didn't mention, but that's plenty. You're not gonna need anything more than that. So all in all, I feel like that they did a great job on this, and I feel like that it is a high quality, maybe a professional grade product. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to use this all day, every day, over an extended period of time, but I have used this quite a bit over these past few months, and I've experienced zero problem with it, zero leaking. The gauge works well. Now, the gauge does go from 10 to 160, as I said. Now, they only will jump up for 2 PSI intervals. So if you need it to be more precise than that, but putting air in the tires, I mean, that's plenty good enough, and this is perfect. And like I said, I definitely would recommend that if you're looking for a good, high quality, professional grade air chuck, that you can go with this. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go down and subscribe below. I'll be doing more videos like this, including project tips, tool reviews, and more. And if you have this air chuck and you're interested in letting someone know your experience with it, make sure you leave that down in the comments as well. I appreciate y'all. Till next time, stay real.